Have you recently bought your dream car, but you're already bored of it? Did you know that athletes like Cristiano Ronaldo and Kobe Bryant had placebo coaches? Have you ever shied away from asking a girl for her phone number? I know I have. Do you also think regular sex is kind of boring, especially if you compare it to porn? In school, we don't learn nearly enough about confidence, being fearless, and being aggressive. Things that are important in life. That's why I think so many have limiting belief over what they are capable of and settle for way less than what they deserve. We used to play this game all the time back in school. It's kind of messed up when you think about it. But say I.
I.
That's correct. Say D.
D.
Okay, what do we got?
Suicide.
Yeah, it's kind of messed up. The leading cause of death between the age of 15 to 44 in the West right now is we have more food, more safety, and more possession than we have ever had throughout our history as humans. But how could it be with all that we are more depressed than ever? If I wanted to pick up this spoon right here, my brain would send signals to my hand to move it here and pick it up. Everything we do and experience goes through our head. Everything. Before we shoot the game winner, every heartbreak, every joy, it goes through our head. Your mental health, how you think, and your belief is everything in life. We need to train our head the same way we train our body. You need to bulletproof this bitch. Metaphorically speaking, don't do anything stupid. Today is a freaking nice day to read. So, I read over 40 self-improvement books, and you know what they all have in common? They're all about changing your mentality, how you think. So in this video, I'm going to tell you what differentiates a Kobe Bryant or a Joe Rogan mentality from yours, and how you can change that to be more successful, more happy, and more confident. We are exposed to so much pleasure that we are getting numb. What's pleasure, you're wondering?
Pleasure is everything that gives you short-term happiness, but leaves you feeling empty in the long run, like porn, junk food, and alcohol.
Too much of this type of happiness can lead to sex feeling less good, food tasting less great, and also normal interaction with each other just feels boring. The opposite of pleasure is purpose. What's purpose, you're wondering?
Purpose is something that provides long-term gratification, while pleasure is something that makes you feel happy in the short term. Pursuing purpose might actually hurt in the short term, but in the long term, it will make you happier than pleasure ever could. In life, we can be happy with only purpose and no pleasure, but we can't truly be happy with only pleasure and no purpose. Example, pleasure might be buying yourself a fancy new car, which will make you happy for the first couple of months. But after the excitement of driving the new car fades, having it won't make you any more happy. Purpose might be buying your parents a new car. Thinking about how you replace your parents' 15-year-old Honda, that is purpose, because that happiness isn't just fleeting, it's something you'll carry for the rest of your life. Each time you think about it or it gets mentioned, it will bring you a little bit of happiness. Another example of happiness and pleasure is being in a meaningful relationship versus having a one-night stand with a baddie. Purpose is, of course, being in a meaningful relationship with someone who understands you, someone who supports you, and someone you can share all the good and the bad experiences in life with. Doing that will obviously provide you more long-term happiness. While having a one-night stand with a 10 out of 10 might be more pleasure, because sleeping with someone very attractive will feed your ego and make you happy for a couple of days. But when you realize you are still alone, that happiness will fade away. And that's why I don't sleep with hot chicks. Not because I can't get them. Whatever. Anyways, us humans, we get bored very easily. So instead of searching for pleasure in your dating life, your goal should be finding purpose, finding your wahid, which means the one in Arabic, I think. You can't bang Margaret Robbie because she'll ruin everything after. There's nothing else after Margaret Robbie. We are adapting machines. If I told you that you had to move to a new apartment that was 10 square meters smaller than the one you lived in today, it might suck in the beginning, but you'll get used to it, and in the long term, it won't have any impact on your happiness. But if you were in a miserable relationship, it doesn't matter how much happiness you get from a Porsche or a new fancy watch, you'll still be miserable long term. So here's the game plan. Cut off the stuff that doesn't help you, like watching porn, eating junk food, or buying things you don't need. And instead of focusing on how many people you can hook up with, set meaningful goals. Set goals as getting in shape, finding your wahid, or goals like advancing in your career. These goals have purpose and will fulfill you, while chasing pleasure will leave you feeling empty and confused. I think that's the reason why depression and suicide is such a major problem in our generations, because we are chasing the wrong things.
Why many turn to pleasure instead of purpose is because we are afraid. We are afraid of the pain and hardship that comes from pursuing meaningful goals. I'll be totally honest with you. Getting rejected in real life is going to hurt your ego. And getting through your first heartbreak is going to sting. And trying to figure everything out throughout the way is going to be a struggle. But that is the beauty in life. Everyone you look up to or aspire to be have gone through tough times. That's a fact. If they haven't gone through tough times, they wouldn't be where they are today.
Have you heard about the NASH or the NAF mindsets in the sports psychology world? NASH stands for Need to Achieve, where your motivation to succeed is stronger than your fear of failing. NAF stands for Need to Avoid Failure, which is when your desire to avoid failure outweighs your motivation to succeed. One of my all-time favorite heroes has this amazing quote. Check this out. I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and I missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. Michael Jeffrey Jordan. MJ was never worried about losing. His sight was set on winning, and that is why he is the goddamn GOAT. Having a good relationship to failure is key to everything in life. None of us came out of the womb with all the necessary tools to be perfect in life. From the first step we ever take to the first time we stall a car in an empty parking lot with our parents, we have to fail to build and develop any skill. So instead of trying to avoid failure, we should seek success and view failure as stepping stones to success. And try to enjoy the difficulty of figuring things out and feeling lost in the beginning. Enjoy the grind because that is your main storyline. Once you figured everything out, and you will figure things out, then it's only side missions after, which aren't as nearly as important or meaningful then. And at that point, you'll look back and reminisce about the good old days. You'll miss the good old days when you were grinding and trying to figure things out.
Talk about something I wish I've learned a little bit earlier in life, and that is aggression. As an Asian man, I think I was brought up in a culture that was lacking aggression. And I think also modern society is taming today's generation from expressing their aggression. We should not be brought up to be tamed. Because after all, we are just organized apes. And aggression has nothing to do with wanting to fight or being hostile. It got nothing either to do with being wound up easily or being argumentative either. Aggression is going to your boss's office asking for a promotion. Aggression is texting your girl that we need to talk because somebody in this relationship is being an asshole. Aggression is telling the person that's trying to cut the line that you can go to the back of the line like everyone else. Thank you. Whether you get the promotion or not, or whether your girls agree with you or not, or whether the guy that cut the line goes back to the line or not, is not the point. The point is that you weren't afraid to pursue what you wanted. You weren't afraid to say what's on your mind. And you weren't afraid to stand up for yourself.
We should never live a life without aggression. Aggression is the fire in the belly that is in all of us. But for some, it might be really deeply buried, so you need to dig it out. When you can muster or tame your aggression, letting it out and using it effectively when you need it, and at the same time controlling it every day, that's when you are a bit better prepared for life.
Your testosterone, taking care of your health, and taking care of yourself is important for aggression. So working out regularly is super important for your mental and physical health being if you want to take care of yourself. So don't neglect that, King. I know many that struggle to enjoy or even get started with working out regularly. So in the link below, you can enjoy 2 weeks of free online coaching that will help you kickstart your fitness journey. You're welcome.
Lastly, have you heard about the Zeigarnik effect? It's a known psychology phenomenon in the psychology world, named after psychologist Bluma Zeigarnik. What it basically is that when something grabs our attention, until we get closure from it, it would drain our mental energy and occupy our mind. Example, you see a girl on the tube and she looks back at you and she smiles at you. You're trying to figure out if you should go to talk to her or not. Beep, doors opening, that is her stop. She's heading out and you just missed your shot. And that will occupy your mind and your mental energy for the rest of the day. And you'll be laying in bed thinking about how you missed your shot. Had you just shot your shot, regardless of the outcome, you would have gotten closure. You would have freed up mental energy on thinking about what could have happened. Confidence is important, but let's talk about the pitfall that can come from being overconfident. Have you heard about the Dunning-Kruger effect? It's a well-known phenomenon in the realm of confidence called the Dunning-Kruger effect. Basically, it's about how people with the least experience tend to be the most confident. And as they gain more experience and skill, their confidence often drops because they become more aware of everything that could go wrong. In our early days, it might be wise to proceed with caution because us humans, we tend to overestimate our abilities. And having a white belt mentality is key because you will fail. And being too overconfident might hurt your ego so badly that it might stop you from continue to learn. Whether you think you can or you think you cannot, you are right. Henry Ford. Did you know that there are many elite combat athletes that have placebo coaches, mental coaches that tell their athletes that they are taking PEDs, performing enhancing drugs, even though they are not? The reason for this is to instill in the athletes a belief that they have an edge over their competitors, which will help them perform to the best of their abilities without, of course, actually testing positive. So many people in this world are out of the battle before it's even begun because of their lack of belief of what they are capable of. Whether it's a goal or a girl, just believing that you can and that you are capable of it is half the battle. Regardless of how the odds are stacked against us, or regardless of the challenge, we should all think at least like this. If he can't do it, why can't I? Or even better, if he can't do it, surely can I too. Steve Jobs said, "Everything around us that we call life was made up by people who were no smarter than you." Whatever you decide to pursue, you might feel like an imposter in the beginning because you might feel like you're not good enough in the start. But that is perfectly fine because feeling like an imposter is something that us all human share. We are all imposters in the beginning of something we do. I was an imposter each time I started a new job, and I will feel like an imposter the first day I become a dad. Feeling like you're an imposter does mean that you're in the wrong. Do you know what type of exercise fighters practice the most? It's shadowboxing. It involves visualizing in their head how the fight will unfold, which helps them feel more comfortable or prepared in that moment. In anything, repetition will make you feel more comfortable and help you control your arousal levels. If you come unprepared, your arousal levels can become uncontrollable and your emotion might get the best of you. Whether you're going on a date or heading to a job interview or pitching an idea, try to visualize how things are going to play out, what you are going to say, and the question you might be asked. And a pro tip is to also prepare your own question to yourself that you have practiced answering perfectly. Like in a job interview, if I were asked why I dropped out of my studies and what I did during those gap years, first, if I were asked a question during a job interview, I would have taken a sip of water as they were posing the question. This is a small trick to buy you a little bit time to gather your thoughts. Then I would take a switcheroo. I would answer confidently with a question to myself that I've already practiced answering. So I would probably answer like, I often get asked these questions by my friends and family if I regret not finishing my master's degree. My answer, I only regret not dropping out sooner because it would have led me to discover my passion earlier. So here I am, applying for a role that I am truly passionate about. Instead of saying the truth, which is, I think school was BS, and I wanted to explore the world and get drunk in every corner of the world.
At the end of the day, what we all want is to live a freaking great life, doing as much as possible of things that are making us happy while we're on this spinning rock that we call Earth. I hear a lot of people say life is long, you can do it later, you can put off your happiness for later. But I disagree, because if you really think about it, the amount of time we are on this globe is a finite compared to how long it will exist. And there's no time to waste on things like pleasure that make happiness short-lived and leave you feeling empty afterwards. Search for purpose instead. Adapt the Nash mentality as we talk about. Build a good relationship to failure. Use your failures to build confidence. And I swear to you, if you adapt those things, it will leave you closer to your goals and dreams than ever. And most importantly, it will make you as happy as possible.
It's tough to resist the temptation from pleasure and to stay confident or to be in the right mindset every day if your job or relationship is draining all joy in your life. Being happy with your job and relationship is fundamental if you want to achieve anything in life. So check out this video to make sure that you have the right foundation to really thrive in life. Thank you so much for watching till the end. I appreciate it. Subscribe if you enjoy this type of content. Stay healthy, keep thriving, and I see you guys on the next one. Peace.